Hey guys, welcome back to the Fashion Me Late Pod. My name's Matt Dillon. As you know, the Fashion Me Late Pod can be taken in the literal form, but what I like to do is get down to the nitty gritty. Fashion Me Late is, for me, moments in life where the universe intersects with divine timing, and just when you're ready and able to handle what the universe gives you, it provides. So today, I'm super excited to welcome my dear friend, Consuelo Vanderbilt Costin, American royalty number one. Give it. American royalty, designer, tech entrepreneur, girl, what singer, Billboard charting singer. Body needs you.
Yes. Ooh.
And my friend, I love you. Thank you for joining.
Thank you for having me.
So I want to kick off because in life, some people only get that one moment of that reinvention or the universe kind of pushing them into what I believe is destiny. So in line with Fashion Me Late, I feel like you, in your nature, you're entrepreneurial. I really see you as the ultimate, like, I want this, these are the steps to get there. You've had so many reinventions. So I want to talk about legacy first and give my viewers and listeners a little background into the Vanderbilt name and how you fit into this jigsaw puzzle. Let's start there.
So firstly, I love the title of your podcast. I like the intention of it. I think it's great. So I'm going to start a little differently.
Ooh, she's taking over.
I had a car accident when I was 19. I don't really talk about it very often. I was in London. It was 2 days before Christmas. The guy who was driving, very sadly, it was problematic. He really did like me. I think he got the absolute wrong impression. He drove down from Oxford to come and see me. And basically, I was in the car for less than 10 minutes. It had just started raining. We all know those kind of Mini Coopers in London. And it was Fulham Palace Road, which is a large main road, but there's these very strange cement barricades on the road. He was staring straight at me while this happened and went straight into the cement barricade. I went underneath the car, meaning where your feet are. It took them about 2 hours to cut me out of the car. I woke up to a priest screaming, and I woke up to 60 people, a lot of people that I knew had stopped and saw because the car was completely totaled. And my whole entire right side of my face was completely gashed. Now, not to be dramatic to start with, I am always dramatic, not to be dramatic and start it off like this, but it's important because it shows it's the beginning of the legacy and it's the beginning of the next iteration.
It's also a story that I've never heard.
That's
so
right.
I'm sitting here like...
That's right. No one knows
wow.
this. And so I was in the hospital for 3 weeks. My best friend from Malaysia flew over. My mother flew over to take care of me. I saw every single living doctor. No one allowed me to look in the mirror for 3 weeks. And subsequently, because again, my right side was smashed and I was modeling and doing commercials at the time, it also became problematic on that end. I ended up with a little dimple.
The genesis of the dimple.
And I never talk about this.
Wow, I just thought that was God's given gift. It is, though.
Right.
It is, though. It is.
And so my ex, the only really good thing about him, called him an angel's kiss. No, I love my exes. Just teasing. I love my exes. But it's true. And no plastic surgeon. Now think about how evolved we are in medicine, right? And years on, and still no one can do anything. And still no one can touch my face because it's hidden right underneath the bone. So the most amazing thing is it's like God came down and said, this is it. I had no plastic surgery. I had nothing. It healed for a year. It took me to find myself again and heal. In that year, it was awful. I mean, I had terrible thoughts. And my first ex actually had been bit by a dog, so he truly understood what that felt like. But to reinvent yourself, when we really look at reinvent yourself, that means you have to, where were you before to be where you are going to be then?
Correct.
So if I look at where I was, I've always had a huge heart. My heart dictates my life. But was I modeling and was I superficial in a way and everything was about looks? Yes.
You were 19, so 19. You can't really like...
But still, let's be honest.
Give yourself grace.
But it was. And then to lose that and to feel like I actually had to find my purpose. Who am I? Who is Consuelo today now? And I started practicing every day, and I really tried to become a proficient musician. I went to theater school. I tried out for the summer class. The summer class, I did incredibly well. They offered me a place in Mount View Theater School, which is one of the best theater schools in London. And then I got signed a year and a half later. It's a miracle. So there is no way, and there's no accident, that had that not happened, my life and trajectory of where I was would be completely different to where I am today. And I think I've had 2 or 3 of these, right? Where it's life-altering, life-shattering, and just stop dead in your tracks. And I'm left with this beautiful gift that I'm reminded of every day. It's like when you go to sleep at night, you wake up with yourself in the morning. I go to sleep at night and it's there. I wake up in the morning. It's still... My mom always said it's always my nucleus, but this is a big one. This is like, yeah, that's my scar to bear.
That's what it represents, though, is, I guess in a way, you got your lesson super early.
I did.
And it definitely put you in a mindset, perhaps, even at 19, that maybe you didn't recognize it then, but now I know you look back and are like, without that, like you just said, I don't think you would have the convictions that you have. I don't think you would have the big heart. And I want to really emphasize that, because you are for the people, with the people. Always. And if you are a friend to Consuelo, there's nothing she wouldn't. She would lie down. She would murder a bitch. Let me just say. We'll talk about that one later, honey.
Yes.
But in reference to that, that's just giving me chills, because I know a lot about you, but that really is a defining launchpad for you into, I guess in a way, like this legacy of Vanderbilt and philanthropy and really being a part of making an impact. What does that mean to you now?
Well, I think if I just to complete that section, right? It was very hard for, again, when with my ex, you know, he used to have a really hard time in high school because he was bit and had multiple plastic surgeries, and he would walk into a classroom hiding his face. And I started to do the same thing. I became a kind of shell of myself in a way, right? And then I had to find this inner, and my parents wouldn't let me come home, which is amazing. So it was also this innate strength of actually, who am I? What am I about? What am I made of? And again, in my deepest, darkest moments, there was a lot of times where I had no idea what that looked like, right? Especially at 19. But what do I really look at now as my legacy today, right? I was raised by my amazing stepfather, who was a self-made man who gave me truly all of the gifts of understanding money, understanding purpose, understanding hard work, understanding being truthful and honest. My mom, who was one of the greatest gifts on the planet, my real dad, who's a beautiful life coach, all living in very strange different dichotomies in different worlds. My family's, Vanderbilt family side, moving back to New York, I found the greatest appreciation of my family. So I came in and out of it, right? So I got the best tastes of it, where going and seeing my grandmother, I wasn't dressed the right way. She's like, no granddaughter of mine will ever dress like this. And I'm literally taken into New York and I'm plopped. And then I'm fitted for lunch. I'm tailored, I'm fitted. I'm like a ruler. Look at this. Okay, you're now ready to go. So it was just classic. And here I come in like my Mickey Mouse, because God bless my mom, but she dressed me the weirdest, most funky, bizarre. I had like barrette and the thing and Mickey Mouse. I mean, it made no sense. But so it was such an extreme on one side. It was such a beautiful thing to watch on another. And then to actually fully embrace it, now it is. When you said, I feel you're an entrepreneur, want an entrepreneur, 100%. Because
a born entrepreneur, may I add. Like it was innately, it lives in your blood.
There's no question.
Yes.
And I think there's a fire and there's a fuel of being there where it also becomes a responsibility. So much of my family, God bless them, were raised to never talk about it. Oh, yes. Don't talk. What do you mean? Well, where am I from? Well, nope. So it's all these weird messages of, well, you shouldn't talk, you shouldn't say, you really don't know what you're meant to say or not to say, right? And I just suddenly said one day, well, I've got to keep saying, I need to keep talking, because if I don't, this beautiful family legacy that most people are forgetting need to know.
You're the rebel.
Yes. So I'm like, we're getting this loud. The women are not appreciated, loud. I don't care how much you hate me. I don't care what you think of me, but you're going to get this loud and clear in Consuelo's way. I'm not a historian. I didn't go to school and be like, hey, oh yes, encyclopedia. No, it's Consuelo's way of speaking about the history. And I hope through my eyes, because I'm comedic and I totally never take myself seriously.
Boom, boom, boom.
That's right. It's just my flavor of what that looks like. But my God, let's not let it be forgotten.
I agree. I think that leads me to a question before. I think the way you've not used the family history, but added value to it and brought it into a new era, so to speak, has there been, down the family lineage, some kickback on this?
You know, there's an amazing thing when silence is so much better than not saying anything.
That's sad enough.
Silence goes a little bit like this.
Oh, with that face too. Did you catch that? I get it.
And then you know that you're definitely on that approval ranking. You know that you're really going to be invited.
But you're putting it in the ethos. I think the culture of the Vanderbilts is so illustrious, and there's so much that people don't know. So it can't just be in the pages of a book.
That's where we are right now. And an amazing thing about AI too is actually it brings things to the forefront, right? It's a memory muscle that you train it to know. Do you not? Mm-hmm. My God, like, let it not be forgotten. And I think that there's such a fear and there's such a society pressure about, we're raised to basically when you're born, you're announced, and when you die, you're announced, and maybe you'll have your wedding announced. So it's 3 times you're announced. Well, I've really messed up on that.
Well, she's been announced multiple times.
Multiple times. So I know I'm already way out of the equation. I am kicked
You're winning.
Out.
You're winning.
I am way out. I am
If
hurting.
we're ticking the board,
I've done it all.
You're ready.
And then it's always like, you don't want to be famous. No, this one, there have been times in my life, no question, and I would be a liar to say it, there have been total times in my life that I absolutely DNA needed to be famous. Like I am going to just do this. And yes, this is not that. This is much more fun. This is the storytelling and fun and passion and loving it and people and experiences. And
good word that you use.
Right?
The storytelling word. I don't think that you ever chased fame.
Never.
I think that you had people around you that put stories together to elevate that situation, which in perspective from somebody else out there could be considered she's chasing fame.
100%.
So that's their opinion of
and
you.
I get that. And if I were someone looking in, I too would feel the same way. And I'm saying to you as a younger person, I did have that. There was absolutely, as I was a singer, there were elements of what that would look like.
But at
right?
least you're doing something. You're not sitting back just
Always.
gliding.
Never. No.
Like this is not.
And I never would be like that. But I would be a liar to say, did I ever not? Of course I did. Of course I did.
It's a
performing in front of
byproduct.
250,000 people, and I'm going to sit there and go, no. I'd much rather be shoveling some poo-poo over there. No, of course. I'm like, hey, bring it on. Yes, of course.
But I think you're with the people, for the people. And
Yes,
I think
always.
to be surrounded by that is such a powerful thing. And I think as we move forward in this day and age, the understanding of like royalty, even if you look at the British aristocracy, there's different ways to keep this story alive and to move
100%.
forward. And some of it is so deeply rooted that they'll never understand and they're not going to accept. But that leads me, obviously, the music career.
Well, let's say that. You made a big, bold statement. Kate Middleton makes class and elegance perfection.
I agree.
Because it drips off her fingertips. She doesn't try. She doesn't need to. She's sporty. She's musical. She's academic. She's a great mom.
Diana would be proud.
Diana would be beyond proud. Why would Diana be proud? I played tennis with Diana. I was the ball girl. My mother played tennis with her. This is very important.
Get this story. Listen up.
This is the greatest story ever.
Princess Diana, for those that aren't aware, If you're not aware, then maybe tune out.
Is there popcorn sitting next to me on this chair?
Here.
It looks like I have some popcorn. On the yellow, I feel like I have popcorn coming in.
Lady
Hello.
Diana. Let's go. I'm ready.
Okay. So I'm 7 years old. I go to a school called Glendower, and I go to school with Princess Diana's niece. My mother, God bless my mother, had the Vanderbilt Tennis and Racket Club. As one does.
Fabulous.
We're members of the, yes. And so the manager at the time and my mother were very close. He played with Diana, blah, blah, blah. Princess Diana, sorry. I don't mean to be an old rude. Forgive me. So you are taught, and I remember distinctly this, at 7 years old, I had about 15 to 20 minute training on how to curtsy. Now, I mean this. This is very, very important. Not just, oh, hey, anyone can come in and I can. No, no, no. I am taught how many steps to go forward, how many steps to go back, how you're going to curtsy. You don't speak until you're spoken to. There's 1,000 things that I remember so vividly at 7 years old.
Wow.
Okay? Everyone got that part? It's not just some fake illusion where you just got put on and no. Just remember that part. Then I'm sitting next to her, and my mother is having a heart attack because I'm always a precocious, gregarious child who does everything you shouldn't do. You say yes, I say no. You say white, I say black. It's like that. So she's right in my direct view, and there's this beautiful, amazing, tall, gorgeous woman who's talking elsewhere, and I'm like, oh no, oh I can't.
Here we go.
I can't.
But you will.
I can't not do it. So I looked over and I'm like, hello, I go to school with your niece. And my mother's going, I'm going to kill you. You can't talk to her. Stop it. Stop it. And like trying to throw things at the table. And she bends down. She goes, oh, that's so lovely. Yes. Yes. Oh, what school do you go to? And we're talking. We are the greatest. My mother is out of her mind. The table's out of their mind. I'm doing everything that's not protocol. But there's protocols. Just saying.
I know there is, but like you're the poster child of non-protocol.
But I like breaking the protocols.
Because you're real. If
yes.
you went, it's based on intent. And at 7, I don't think you had the intent. You were just like, oh, I go to school with her niece, Princess Diana. Like that's an exclusive right there. She's dropping bombs, ladies and gentlemen. Bam.
Well, you say you want me on your podcast. Would you want dull, dry, boring? You want some vanilla,
definitely
white? No.
Definitely not. But I do want to bring it back to you.
Yes.
And this idea of entrepreneurialism.
Yes.
And I want to talk about Soho Muse.
Yes.
Because I think that will be one of the great legacies that you leave.
Thank you.
To be honest. So
Thank
can you
you.
take us through
why and how?
the why, the tech, like where did this come from? I know, but I want you to share that because I think it's such an interesting positioning and a tool for creatives and people that are desperate to find. I think you're building a community.
So my last single was number 5 in the US, which he played, Body Needs. And I toured with this song. This song drives me wild. Wild, I tell you.
Wildly insane?
Wildly insane.
Are you proud of it?
Listen, I'm proud of the success. If people love it, how great is that, right? People singing your song.
I still love it.
You can't get enough on this planet. There's no sensation alive with people singing your song.
Cut up on the dance floor.
That's
we were
right.
turning up.
I die, and I'm such gratitude. So I knew I was ending on a high. I had to leave on a high, but I've had this lingering feeling that to build a membership-based site and an incredible business partner, Umi McGuckin, who really understood marketing and understood technology, what would it be to build a brand X? I'm building a fashion show, and I'd have access to all the talent that I wanted and needed in any given city. Similarly, if Consuelo, I'm building a music video and I need makeup artists, hairstylists, that I've got that all in my community within that city. So I can build projects, I can connect with people, create, have jobs, mentorship. We have a whole ed tech side of the platform. Wow. It is a 360, like Disney decided to build his company because of real estate. And then there was all these amazing offshoots of stories and narratives and things. Me, it's about the people. How do people find each other? And I'm so frustrated. I say this a lot. If 2 people go to school, one goes to Stanford, one goes to Juilliard, one wants to be a lawyer, one wants to be a composer. They work the same amount of hours, they come at the same amount of time. And what happens? Lawyer immediately gets a job. Composer has to intern for the next 3 to 5 years.
The disparity is terrible.
It's not okay. And then the parents don't want to encourage their children to do what? Be creative, because it's like, well, you're going to be struggling. You're going to be that musician on the street. You're going to be a dancer on the street. So that's not great. So then 2 of your 3 children you're encouraging to be a doctor or a lawyer or whatever else. We want that. So I preach, and I have people literally chanting, creatives get paid. That's my entire narrative. Same thing with sports figures, making understanding of getting involved with the right people to help to encourage you to be the best of you. So I put music on hold because I'm like, I'm going to make a difference. I'm going to make a difference by getting people connected, by getting people jobs, by speaking for the voice of the people that don't have the opportunities. So that's really true. The birth of Soho Muse comes out of that. It's a total and utter necessity.
You used your past history. You used something that you understood. And it's smart. Sometimes the greatest ideas come from that you're living and breathing in it.
Yes.
They're not overly complicated. You surround yourself with the right people to build the network correctly. And hey presto, it bloomed because it came literally authentically from inside you.
Definitely.
You've lived it, you've breathed it, you've worked with every creative that's possibly available.
Yep.
And I think that's such a huge legacy because the creative side of things, and the analogy you used is like, yes, the lawyer, the doctor will go get a job. Us, we go through and, Juilliard, if you're a dancer or this, you then have to audition. Then you're going to be in the back row on $350 on Broadway. Don't get it twisted. You think the people on Broadway are making a lot of money? Unless you're the front, you're $450 a week. At
100%
that.
at
$450
that.
a week, if that.
And then you go on hiatus.
Correct.
And then what happens? And then where do you get a job? So now you're getting a job for 4 to 6 months because what you just are immediately booked on another show, you're not. And then what happened during COVID? The Broadway industry was completely killed. No new shows. What happened to all the studios? Studios shut down. So now you have all this past content that's praying and racing that it's going to find its way. So it's like we have to find other outlets. You need to be in charge of you. I've always said that to every actor, right? You've got to really know, write, produce, direct, get your content out there. And then there's so many different mediums. Whether you have 1 view, 10 views, 5 views, right? Those 5 views could change your life.
You think about it though, and this is true. Those 5 views. Imagine you get 100 likes on a post on Instagram, and that's like, oh, it's low. It's this. Imagine you had 100 people sitting in front of you. Those 100 people that were sitting. You have to be able to start somewhere. That's 100 people. That's a huge
100%
momentum.
Who feel you, who resonate with you, and whatever that message was at that given moment, someone felt you. And I'll tell you, doing HSN was the greatest gift of my life because
Another hat.
I
HSN.
never understood.
I'm Consuelo, and welcome to HSN.
Loved it.
Today,
I loved
we are
it.
doing jewelry.
I loved it. God, I loved it. Oh my God, it was so much fun. Because you don't realize how powerful it is for your voice in 30 seconds that a beautiful young mom or mother or whatever age she is there washing dishes.
Tessie in Texas.
Tessie in Texas. And Tessie in Texas suddenly hears, I hear jewelry. I feel a little jewelry. I see a little jewelry coming on. And she comes over and she watches the TV and she's like, oh, yes. Oh, I see. And you too for $49.99.
Exactly.
And that's it. And you're going, oh my God, that's incredible.
That was one of my favorite memories working with you during that peak time. Oh my God, the places we went with the jewelry.
The best.
The stories we could talk about. We'll save that for the After Dark edition. Back to you. Okay, so everything you've done, do you believe in the power of just saying yes? Because
I do.
I feel like you've said yes to a lot of things that perhaps weren't in your sphere. Perhaps you didn't know the ABCs to do and you just did. What's that advice that you have for people? I think the divinity of saying, just showing up. The concept of just showing up. I think people say, oh, I'm ready. Why do people then look at things and be like, oh, why does he have that opportunity? Why does she have that opportunity? Because I say yes to every goddamn thing. Let me be very clear. I say yes. And I may not be the best at it, but I'll work to get to the best.
It's great.
What's your take on all of that?
So I'm the same. 99% of the things, I have no idea what I'm doing.
Me too.
I know nothing about it. Like, really? Yes, I'm a car mechanic one day. Sure.
She's got the
I'm
tap
a
dancing
tech
album coming
entrepreneur.
out.
I'm tap dancing. You know, like, no, I have no idea. This is classic. Did I ever tell you about the TV show? Well, it was actually a Broadway show. This is brilliant. This is on the Yes conversation. So, who remembers that beautiful character, Ula?
No.
The blonde Uma Thurman's
Oh,
character.
yes.
What's the name of that show?
Isn't that Pulp Fiction?
No. It's a Broadway show.
I have no clue.
Audience?
Audience?
It's called The Producers.
Okay, audience
Okay?
members?
It's all called The Producers. You guys will know this in 5 seconds. So Ula, if you remember, is probably 5'11", maybe 6'2" in those heels. So the auditions happen, and they say very specifically, there's no lying about this, you must be 5'8" without heels. Did you hear me? 5'8" without heels. So I go to the audition, and I do the music part, and I get past the singing part. And then all of the dancers come up, right? And the dancers are now 5'11". They're not even 5'8". They're not 5'7". They're nothing. And they just have legs that just go for
Giraffes.
days and days, and stretch and stretch. And I still have my shoes on. And they're like, excuse me, miss, could you please take your shoes off? And I'm like, well, no, I'm thinking, no. I'm thinking no. I'm thinking that's not a good idea. So now I have to take the stupid shoes off. Yeah, squirt. I'm less than 5'7". I'm like looking up at everyone. It's the most embarrassing thing, doing like the can while I'm like Shorty McShorty. So
I can't.
And they're like this. You're not really 5'8" now, are you?
No.
But I say this. I still showed up. I still said yes.
And you're probably better than all these
and
other.
I still went. So that's my philosophy. Don't be afraid. Don't ever be afraid, because you just don't know. You don't know who you're going to meet in that elevator. I know you feel the same way.
I do, and I feel like, to round this out, I feel like where we've taken this and listening to the many things, I want to get onto some of the newer stuff that you're doing, but I just want to kind of wrap this little juncture up in that there's so much power in, you could have written on the name, you could have done so much with that Vanderbilt last name in a laissez-faire way. And I think what you've done may have, people have opinions, people will always have opinions, and that's their problem. And I think where you've stepped up and showed up is your creative juices are just flowing, and the heat button on it just keeps getting hotter and hotter as you enter new eras in your life. And I'm like, that's powerful. And I think that's powerful for people to understand that saying yes, showing up, if they say 5'8", keep the heels on, but you never know who else is in that room.
You don't.
And in that elevator. So there is a lot of power in that.
Always. And not being afraid. Your demons, our voices in our head are very loud. I'm not good enough. I'm not thing. I don't feel good enough today. I feel like, which are all real. My God, are they all real, right? We all have them.
I
we
say
all
do
get
it anyway.
Yeah.
And have a conversation with them and be like, not
100%,
today, not today.
It's just, how do you overcome that today so that by the end of the day, you go, you know what? I got through that.
You do it anyway.
Yeah,
you do
I
it
didn't
anyway.
think that I could do that, but man, I did, and I feel really proud of myself. And even if it's the smallest thing, right? Even if it's the tiniest thing, just to know that you got through that is a big deal.
I agree. I always say, and some people say like this is like backwards thinking, but I always, where I came from in life and how we've all had our issues and what have you that could have derailed us, I did fake it till I made it. But I did the work to catch up to the fakeness.
To faking it, to get there.
I did the work.
See, that's great.
So that's the
You
difference.
had to.
And
That's
I'm
the
not
difference.
faking like lying or what have you. Faking that I loved myself. Faking that I was good enough. Faking that I was this. I grew up in, school life was terrible, homophobic bullshit, like whatever. But I faked it till I made it. And then eventually it did catch up.
Yeah, it did.
And now I'm unstoppable.
And look at him. And I'm on his podcast. And look at him.
Vanderbilt.
He has on his podcast.
Yes. Many
Damn
things.
cool. and I see that this chair looks like I have room for popcorn. It's weird.
I was like, well, I was going to bring my dog.
I don't understand why I keep imagining popcorn, but it feels like maybe with the yellow shorts, the thing, it looks like a little popcorn moment. Just saying.
I can't. Let's talk about luxury lines. Let's talk about the bag collaboration that you have with Jimena Cavallakis.
Yep.
I love the idea. It just seemed like it was overdue.
Yeah.
Like way overdue. I was like,
100%.
that should have been a decade ago. But
Yep.
we're here.
We're here.
I've been on tours, on television, hucking the shit out
Yes,
there.
yes,
And I love it. And I love to support. I read a quote. I love to support friends that have projects. And you do it in different ways. I saw a quote of somebody saying, hey, it doesn't cost anything to like, to comment. You better comment on my shit, Consuelo.
Yes.
You don't have to necessarily buy it, but if there's a way that I can help you, and I have a way, and by showing up today, you've helped me, this is what we do together. We help each other. So where do you want to take this line? What's the
end goal?
Yeah, what's the end goal?
So my family is renowned for transportation.
Correct.
For shipping, right? And there's been one area that's not been done.
Well, she's going to do it. Speak on it.
So, this beautiful area that I've done a lot of research, spent a lot of time, I'm doing things in stages as market research to get the test of what works and what doesn't work. And the House of Vanderbilt.
Oh, honey.
That's right. It's very exciting. And we've got a lot of TV shows in prospects. So I'm looking at the right brands to be positioning inside of the right. Again, when we start to look at this, like not being afraid, when I say, and I really say this, because you have so many of the naysayers in the world going, oh God, not again, not another. The yes.
Yes
and
again.
I say yes again, and more so, and it will work until it works until the end of time before, I say goodbye.
It works until the wheels fall off the bus.
100%.
Or the train,
and
in your case.
And you don't know what the end of something is going to be.
I don't think you should know either, because that's half the excitement in life.
I agree. And then you stop learning. If you did know everything, you would stop learning. You would have any idea how to get there. I know one thing that I didn't know then. I know it's so important to do market research. It's so important to do test market. I know that it's so unbelievably important to have your right, when you talk about people, your right core people, your people, like people who support you have the same vision, not what you think. If there are instincts that are telling you to run. Greatest advice I could ever give.
That's why she invites me to the parties, because I come in there, I light that bitch on
fire,
fire, and then I'm out.
Leaves. And then he's like this, you see the damage?
And she's like this, the fire's happening, and she's like, I am Consuelo Vanderbilt.
And that's the end. But we know that works.
You need a party trick.
You need a party trick, and you need an end there. But that's what's so exciting. I'm really excited. I've got TV shows in the works. I've got a lot of amazing events happening. One being Milken, May 6th, which is incredible. We've got Art Basel, which you're coming to.
I'm super excited about that.
And it's going to be phenomenal. And I've got, as I said, a lot of TV shows in the works right now. So life is good, and I'm just excited for the next venture.
On that note, I want to thank you for being fashionably late today.
Which I was. Hey.
She was stuck on Fisher Island.
I was stuck on Fisher, and that's the truth too.
She was. It's hard to get off there. It's hard to get off. Once you're on, they never let you off.
I could have swum to you. I just don't know if I would make it.
I don't think so.
I think that would have been the end.
But I truly want to thank you, because I think you bring such a different perspective to entrepreneurialism, life, being a woman, being a dog mommy. Everything is, to me, this journey. And this friendship here is over a decade now, and it's stronger than ever. So thank you so much for being here. Love you.
I'm so proud of you.
Thank you so much.
This is great. Love your questions. Love you.
God
Everyone
damn.
watch the show and support him, please.
Buy my jewelry. Buy my jewelry.
Matt Dillon.
Love you.
Love you.
Till next time.
Bye.